Hi Ria. Hi Divyansh. Hi Gopi Krishna. Hi Yogita. How are y'all? How are y'all? How is the evening going? I welcome all of you to the SST session. So, y'all studies are going well? So, what are we going to learn today? Come on, tell me what are we going to learn today in today's session? Hi Babli. Hi Shreyash. Hi Dev. Hi Ankit. Diokant. I hope all of y'all are doing well. Yes or no? And I hope all of y'all are going through these sessions that has been allotted to you all. Hi Anurag. Good evening to all of you. Very good. Yes. The chapter that we are going to do today is from your civics. Yes or no? Just a second. Okay. Today we are going to do it from your civics portion. Yes. I hope all of you are ready for the session today. Very good. Okay. So I hope that let us start with the session today on a good note. Yes or no? Okay. So power sharing and federalism are the first two chapters from your civics. Yes? Power sharing, some of the important topics that we have is all of y'all know that there are two important case studies. Yes? Power sharing in Belgium and the power sharing model in Sri Lanka. Yes or no? These are the two models, case studies that we have in power sharing chapter, Belgium and Sri Lanka. And we all know that in a country there are diverse groups of people that stays. Yes or no? On the basis of your race, your culture, your religion, the language you are speaking. Yes. So if there's so much of diversity, so there might be clashes. Yes or no? We need to respect the people. We need to look at their needs and demands. Yes. So there were two such principles that was adopted. Yes, both by Belgium and both by Sri Lanka. Yes, to accommodate the power sharing principles. Now, can you tell me which was the policy that was adopted by Belgium? Who will tell me which was the policy that was adopted by Belgium? Very good. It is your policy of accommodation. Yes, it is the policy of accommodation where they accommodated the different groups. Do you remember which were the groups of people they were mainly residing in Belgium? Who were they? They were your Dutch and the French. Yes or no? So Belgium adopted the policy of accommodation. Okay. Next, we have the policy of majoritarianism. It was adopted by whom? Sri Lanka. Yes. Now, they mainly focused on the principle of majority versus the minority. So, the Sinhalas were the majority in Sri Lanka, whereas the Tamils were the minorities. So, they focused on majority. Yes. And lastly, the different forms of power sharing. Don't worry, students will do the different forms of power sharing in details. Okay, fine. Okay. The next one is your federalism. Yes, so federalism is a type of government. The different features associated with federalism that we have hierarchy of governments, yes or no? We have dual citizenship also, that's a feature of your federalism. Then we have different jurisdictions, yes, mutual consent is needed of the different governments, etc. Then we have the types of federation coming together and holding federations. Then we had the policy of linguistic states, how states were divided on the basis of what language you speak, language policy, how Hindi and English were made the official languages, center state relations, and lastly, decentralization. Yes, these are the few important topics from both the chapters. Clear, all of you? Any doubt? Okay, come on. Now let us go to the one marker questions from both this chapter. Yes, the first question that we have is your, when did Sri Lanka attain independence? In which year did Sri Lanka attain independence? It attained independence in the year 1948. Okay, it was attained in the year 1948. Yes, it got the dominion of Ceylon. Fine. And later it got the status of Republic of Sri Lanka. Fine. I guess it was in 1972. Clear? All of you know the dominion status, isn't it? We have learned in Nationalism in India chapter also. Yes, the dominion status you get, that you become independent, but still you have the British control. Okay, fine. Shreyash, I'll come to that when I'll discuss the question on decentralization. Fine. The next question is, who is the head of your municipal corporation? Where do we find the municipal corporation? Where do we find it? It is a part of the third level of the government. Yes or no? So the mayor is the head of the municipal corporation in India. Yes. So the different towns have different municipal corporation. Clear? Next question is easy. Capital of Belgium. We have already learned it in details. Yes or no? It is your Brussels. Yes, we have learned the two groups of people who reside in Belgium were your Dutch and the French. However, in Brussels, it was the reverse. Majority were the French speaking and Dutch were the minority speaking. Okay? And the last one marker question that we have is, which Amendment Act, okay, included the third tier government in India? Yes? Which Amendment Act was it? Which Amendment Act was it? It was your 73rd Amendment Act of 1992 that included the third level of government. Okay, before that we only had the central and the state government. However, if we see, there is a lower level also. Yes or no? We have the villages, we have the different towns. Now sometimes what happened, they were being not noticed. Okay, much importance were not given to them because much of the focus were for either for the entire nation was or for the state and the cities. So now, because the lower level of government also needed someone to look over them, help them, that is when they realize it, okay, it is time that we include a third level, that is your the local government, and that was included when in the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. Okay, Ria, why power sharing is essential? Now imagine if power was only in the hands of one person, what is going to happen then? It would, like, ours would have been a monarchical form of government, isn't it? Don't you think so? If power was only in the hands of one particular person and under only one family, then we wouldn't have fulfilled the spirit of democracy. Yes or no? Now, if you share the power, responsibilities are divided. Yes or no? For example, in school also, We have the principal at the top, then we have the vice principal. Yes, below that maybe we have the administrative group. Fine, then we have the teachers. Now everyone have different responsibilities. That is how a school is run. Clear? So that is why if you are distributing power, you are distributing the responsibilities so that you have a healthy relationship with each other, and the running of the institution, organization, or even in that matter the state is very important. Okay, so I already gave you the decentralization explanation also. Muskan coalition government means that when a particular political party do not get the maximum desired number of votes. Okay, fine. Then two parties can come together and form an alliance. That is when you find a coalition government. Okay, fine. The next question of 3 markers is that, fine, what will happen if the majority community in India starts dictating terms on minority community? Okay, what will happen if the majority community in India starts dictating terms on the minority community? Now we know in India, fine, you know the majority and minority. Majority means where number is more, minority means where number is less. Yes. So now in India, we know that if in religion terms we go, Hindus are the majority. Yes. Then we have the Christians, we have the Muslims, we have the Sikhs and other communities. However, we know that India is a secular country. Yes or no? What do you mean by secular? What does secular mean? Tell me. Secular means that we have no state religion. Yes or no? We do not have any state religion. Yes. We have been, like, the secular country title has been included in the preamble also. Yes. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Apart from that, we also have a fundamental right. Yes, right to freedom of religion, Article 25, which states that we can freely profess or propagate, practice our own religion. Yes or no? So that is one power that we have. Secondly, as I've already mentioned, and Constitution also gives us certain rights. Yes or no? Now there is right to equality, the first fundamental right that we have. Yes or no? From your 14 to 18. Then we also have protection to minority communities. Yes, we have also the protection to minority communities. Then imagine, fine, if a situation still rises, of course, if we see uh, there are so many rights that is there, fine, but there are still times that people are not aware of that rights. Yes, so sometimes the majority might misuse those, misuse or take advantage of such a kind of situation. Okay, so if the majority community they starts dictating terms on the minority community, the following events might take place. Okay, firstly, the spirit of democracy is not going to get fulfilled. Why? Because in our country, in the constitution only, it is mentioned that right to equality is there, right to protection to minorities is there. If we are not abiding by the constitution, if we are not following it, that means we are not fulfilling the spirit of democracy. Yes, then there might be times when there are riots or conflicts that have taken place between both the communities. Yes, there might be clashes. Yes or no? Because majority will always think that yes, I am the powerful. Others, I will disrespect them, disregard them. So there might be a chance that there are riots or conflicts. And lastly, that might also lead to a scenario where there is difference in opinion. Yes, difference in opinion between both the communities. Yes or no? For example, which we saw in the example of which case study? Will it be Belgium or Sri Lanka? Tell me, which case study did we see this problem where majority was dominating the minority? It was the case study of your Sri Lanka. Okay, fine. No, it's not Belgium. How can it be Belgium? Belgium adopted the principle of accommodation. Yes or no? It was Sri Lanka. Very good. Okay. Now let us come to the next question. The next question is, explain the threefold distribution of the legislative powers between the central and the state government. Okay, explain the threefold distribution of your legislative powers between central and your state government. Fine. So which are the threefold distribution? Which are the threefold distribution? Tell me. It is your union list, your state list, and lastly your concurrent list. Okay, so the first one that we have is your union list. Now union, we all know the name. It means what? That is for the whole nation, like we have a union or a central government. So union list includes certain subjects that is of important for the nation. Okay, and any change, any law that needs to be made under the union list, who will have the power? The union or the central government will have the power. Okay, some examples or the subjects that are included in a union list is your defense, your foreign affairs, etc. Okay, fine. The next one is your state list. Now, state list will include the subjects that are of importance to the state and at local level also. And who is going to make any changes or laws regarding the state list? It is going to be your state government. Some subjects under the state list are your police, agriculture, etc. Clear? The third one that we have is your concurrent list. Concurrent list now includes subjects that are of common interest to both, that is the union government as well as the state government. Okay, these are the common interest subjects. Fine. Now both the governments have the power to make laws relating to this subjects. For example, education policies, marriage, etc. Clear all of you? So we are done with the 3-marker questions. Fine. Now let us come to your 5-marker question. Okay, this is the question you all were talking about, to explain the various types of power sharing arrangements. Okay, so the different types or the forms of power sharing are, firstly, your horizontal power sharing. Okay, now horizontal means, just remember this way. Okay, horizontal is your sleeping line or is a sleeping line or your standing line. What does horizontal normally mean? Is it the sleeping lines or the standing lines? It is your sleeping lines. Yes or no? Horizontal means the sleeping lines. So horizontal sharing means what? That there will be share in the same level. Yes, it will be the sharing of power at the same level. Fine? Okay. So power is shared amongst the various organs of government. So now which organs or organizations do we have at the same level? We have learned this in grade 9th also. See, all these are related. Fine. In grade 9th also what we have learned, 10th also what we have learned. Remember, what did we learn? The political institutions which are placed independently. It is your, very good, your legislative, your executive, and your judiciary. Very good. Good students. Y'all remember it. I'm very happy. So, power is shared amongst your legislature, executive, judiciary, which makes up the political institutions. Yes. Now, all the functions are delegated to them. Okay. Now, they are working independently. No one is coming in between anyone's work. However, you might be answerable to them, fine, but you are not entering into the purview of the working of one another organization. Fine. For example, judiciary is not going to go and look at what executive is doing. Okay, now the legislature will go and look at what judiciary is doing. Now, when such a kind of power sharing exists, okay, what will happen? It will ensure that there is a balance maintaining. Yes, there is a balance of power in this system. Yes, and they can keep on checking the powers of the others. Yes, and you cannot cross your limit. Fine, you need to stay in your purview itself. Okay, this is a very healthy form of power sharing. Clear, all of you? Yes. The second one that we have is the vertical power sharing. Yes. So what will vertical mean? Of course, if horizontal was your sleeping lines, vertical means your standing lines. Yes. So standing means what? There will be a hierarchical form. Yes or no? There will be a hierarchical form. So now it means that power is shared where? Between the different levels of the government. And we all know in India, we have the 3 levels of government. Yes or no? Who is at the top? We have the central government at the top. Then we have the state government next. Yes. And thirdly, we have the local government. Fine. So in this hierarchical system, we see that power is delegated. Yes. To the top, at the top, central. Then we have the state, and lowest is the local level of government. Yes. So in this type of power sharing, you are not overburdening someone. Fine, everyone is given their share of power. They will look into those matters itself. Yes, remember the example of the principal, vice principal, which I had given you, so you can relate with it. You are not overburdening your principal to run the entire school, so powers are delegated. Yes, in the same way, when power was not given to the third tier of the government, okay, when it was not there, so the only like the central and the state government were existing, so they used to look at the lower level also, but then they realized that no, it's not working. Better we have a third level of government when there is no stress on us or pressure on us overburdening ourselves. Now they can keep a check on what is happening at the lower level. Clear, all of you? Okay, fine. The next type of power sharing that we have is that power is shared among different social groups. Okay, different social groups that are based on religion, on language. Why does this happen? So that we can safeguard their interest. Yes, we can include them in the mainstream, and so that they do not feel alienated. Okay, now for example, if India maybe was not a secular nation, or imagine we had a state religion, fine, and if it was Hinduism, now imagine if Hinduism was imposed on everybody. Okay, if I don't want to follow Hinduism, or I don't want to go to a temple, now I'm being forced. That is not healthy for me or for the running of the country. Yes or no? Yes, so that is why power, different powers is given to us. You can also give the example of the community government that was there in Belgium. Okay, and last one is that power is shared among the different political parties and your pressure groups. Yes, pressure groups are where like-minded people, they come and form in associations. For example, you'd have your trade unions, etc. Fine. Now, when power is shared among different groups or political parties, it means what? Now, during elections, we have a multi party system. Now, different parties are going to fight for the elections so that they can gain the power. Yes or no? Now, because of this, that power is given to different political parties, we are not restrained to selecting only one particular group of people or only one particular leader. We have the free choice as to whom we need to give our vote, who should come into power, so that there is a balance and fair chance and working of the government system. Okay, mainstream means the majority, you can say, okay, which is common majority, not the discriminated or the exploited ones who are separated away. Exact definition is where like-minded people form a group. Okay, they are known as pressure groups or interest groups. Fine. Okay. Now coming to the last question of this session that we have is, describe certain provisions of your 1992 amendment for making the third tier of the government. Okay. So the 1992 amendment means what? The 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. What did it do? It included the third tier of the government in India. Yes. So there were certain provisions that were mentioned. So what are the provisions? First one is that there are going to be regular elections also that are needed to be held at the local governmental bodies. Okay, randomly you cannot come into power. There will be regular elections. Fine. Then next one is that seats are reserved in the elected bodies and the executive heads of the institution for the SCs, STs or the OBCs. Fine. Like we have the minorities rights, in the same way here seats are specially reserved in the elected bodies and executive heads for your other backward classes, your scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Fine. At least one third of all the positions are reserved for women. Okay, so it is only in the local government that one third of the positions are seats are reserved for women. Then there is an independent institution, that is your state election commission, that has been created in each state. Okay, so that they can conduct the panchayat and municipal elections in a fair and just manner. Likewise, we have the constitutional elections. Okay, fine. Last one is that the state governments are required to share certain powers and revenue with the local government so that they can run well. And the nature of sharing varies from one state to another. Okay, so these were few of the important questions from your power sharing and federalism chapter. Students, see, time is limited. We are allotted half an hour for each session. Yes or no? So it's not possible to discuss all the questions. So that is why I'm urging you, it's like a request. You can go sign up in Merit Nation. You will get so many revision notes. Okay, there are sample papers, question and answers. You have the ask and answer forum, which is going to help you. Fine. Okay, and if you have missed or come late for the session, please watch the recording and try to be on time. Fine, because it's just a matter of half an hour in the evening. Yes, and for your 3 days. All of you know the days well now. Yes or no? It's on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. IST. We have the SST session. Okay, fine. We also have the other sessions for your science as well as your maths. Okay, fine. Shubham, we do not have the option to download the boards here. Fine, if you want it, you can just watch the recording again. Yes? No, I'm not ignoring anyone. Fine. I hope you all have liked the session, today's session. It was helpful for you. We shall meet tomorrow. Yes, with the session from history, we are going to do nationalism in India. Okay, fine. So I hope to see you all. Take care, all of you. Bye bye. Enjoy your evening. Study well. Revise. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.